Hi, Johan here with LiquidFiles. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to set message options. When we log on to LiquidFiles, there's this sort of traditional webmail fields on the left-hand side, and then there's a bunch of options that we can set on the right-hand side. And we fairly often get questions how to either configure the default for these values or to set which of these values are available for the user. And all of this is configurable on a per group basis. And the first thing, a little bit about testing. Often we find that customers, when they test LiquidFiles for the first time, they say, all right, I'm just going to send a test message to, my user at gmail.com. And they just type some random text, add a file, and then they hit send. And then they look in, so in this case, I'm using a mock SMTP, which is like an email proxy server that just captures all the emails going in and out, so we don't have to worry about this is not getting delivered to the public internet. It just shows all the email as they are being delivered. In this case, so this got delivered to my user at gmail.com. So when we test this, we click on the link and say, hang on, why didn't I get authenticated? I sent this to my Gmail address and I clicked on the link in my Gmail address, and the reason why we didn't get authenticated is that we were logged on to the default browser in this system, Safari on this Mac, and I'm still logged on as a system administrator, and whatever email that was used, whatever local LiquidFiles user was used to send the message, has always the permission to read the message that it sent. So the system administrator sent this message, and the system administrator is the one that's reading this message currently because they are logged on to this browser. So we can either test this by logging out the user from this browser and click on the link, or the easier option is usually to use two browsers. So we copy the link and we open another browser. In this case, this is Chrome that we use as an alternate browser. So I open the link, and we now get presented with this authentication screen that we were expecting. So we log on as my user at gmail.com, and we now get prompted to we get prompted for an authorization link to see that this is really our email. We could click on this link, but again, this will take us to the default browser that's logged on as a system administrator. So again, we're going to copy this link and enter into the validation screen. And now we are presented with this message. We have authenticated ourselves, and we are authenticated as my user at gmail.com. And quickly, when we download this, we can again look in the email and see that a download receipt has been sent to this to the sender. So it's been sent to admin@liquidftest.com. But now we're going to test the email sender option. So we're going to do something similar. So we're going to log on as a local user at liquidftest.com. So now I logged on as a local user here, and the local user in this case has access to all these options. So back in Safari, we're going to go to the default browser. We logged on as a system administrator. We're going to go to groups, and we're going to go to local users. And in the local users, we're going to look at the message settings. So here we look at the message settings for the local users. And the first thing we can so this is then correlating here. So the first thing we're going to look at is the message expiration option. So this is configurable for how long in the future can this message be set to expire. And if we browse forward, we can see that in May next year, because it's now November, so 180 days in the future is the maximum expiration date that we can set. And if we go back now to Safari, look at these options, we can set the expiration for it was 180 days. In this case, we're just gonna unclick this, that user can no longer change this. So when we save this and look in Chrome, reload this option has now been removed. So the user can no longer set this setting, and all the messages will be set with the expiration of 30 days. So this is how we this is how we configure this for all the settings. So we go back. So we can change this for message expiration after, which is the next setting below the message expiration after. We can set recipient domains, either whitelist or blacklist, which are the domains, the email domains that a user are allowed to send messages to or not allowed to send messages to for blacklisting. And if we want to do a bit more specific, we can use regular expressions either for whitelisting or blacklisting. The access permissions, so whether or not to require authentication, is again, we can set whatever we want the default value to be, and we can set whether or not users can change it. So if we first change the default, hit save. At the moment, it has default to only a recipient can access. We reload this, and now it defaults to only recipients and local users can access. Our message expiration has now reappeared, and we have changed the default value. And again, we can, if we say that, all right, well, we don't really think that our users should be able to configure this, so we can remove the message permission, that the ability for users to change this. And now we set this to whatever we want to on the specific recipients and respective domain users. And when we hit save and look in Chrome for this local user, this option has now disappeared. They can no longer change this setting. So this is how we change all the settings for users. And we can go through and set all of these settings, what the default values are, and whether or not a user has the permission to change this or not. So I hope you found this helpful. Looking forward to seeing you for future videos. Thank you.